him. You know, he calls me up. He talks about stupid stuff and how he's just kicking butt, and and
how much money
you know, I just one of these days I just like to tell that guy off. But it's just I just don't because he's one of them guys that you just feel so sorry for him all the time that you just. So before we go live, I just want
to exactly. I would hate for him to. I would hate for Scott Torcese to actually hear how bad we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Or we're oh crap!
Oh, hit the live button. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. They're actually sending him down to a place called. They're sending him to two locations. One is Port Fourchon, and the other is Golden Meadow. Or I think he said Golden Meadow. No. You got to go through Golden Meadow. Oh, I should have told it. I got to tell him about that. They will write him. If you go, an nth over the speed limit, you get a ticket there.
Right.
Period. I mean, they made national news for having per capita because their town is like 500 people or 5 people. Mm-hmm. But per capita, they wrote, they were like, this has been many years back, but they were like 5th in the nation for writing tickets.
There was a place off of over close to Stark that was like that. It was so bad that AAA went out there and put a billboard on the outside of town that said, "You are entering a known speed trap. This town will give you tickets," and blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Thank y'all so much. Golly, we got so many good friends on here. And
Absolutely.
Nice to see y'all here on a Thursday night. Doug and I, we've been so busy this week, and we haven't even had a chance to talk by phone. And I was out on Monday, and oh Lordy,
Rocket City. I don't have internal motivation issues. That was just answering the question, kind of a thing. But yeah. I get it.
It has been a week. So as I was telling Doug, I've had corporate, with the sell off. I had corporate come here, and we've been under corporate meetings for 3 days and doing other switchovers to new systems with them, which, is always interesting.
Moving to new systems always is a pain.
It's a nightmare. It really, really, really is a freaking nightmare. So,
Rich, I'm doing pretty good. I'm still going to cough a couple times here. I still have some lung issues and all that, but and there it comes.
There it is.
For the most part, I'm feeling 98% better. It's just this stuff that's stuck in your lungs that you just can't get rid of. It's just there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, doing good. So, hey, tonight, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a little bit about doing big jobs. We're going to answer questions and, identify. There it goes. Identifying stuff. But we have no real agenda, as we tend to do on Thursday night sometimes. So the big thing is, if you have questions, answer them, ask them. Let's try to get them going, that kind of a thing. But
so what qualifies as a big job, and let's ask the audience about that. What is a big job? Because what's a big job to some people
is a little job
to others,
Mm-hmm.
We've in the past. So this past weekend I did a 1-day, and I can't give out exact prices anymore because they're not my jobs.
Right.
We did a 1-day job that was a TPO roofing job that I would say was somewhere between, let's say, $3,500 and $6,500.
My computer must be sliding down the thing here. I got. It's like it keeps changing on me.
We just did a HOA association that was somewhere between 18,000 and 24,000 out there. So. But then again, we've got a little, $3,000 job tomorrow for 2 techs, and I consider that a pretty big job,
Yeah, you're right. What's a big job to one person isn't necessarily a big job to another person. And, a big job could be 2-story residential roof. A big job could be a 10-story, government building. A big job could be your first job.
Barry Shields is commenting, and Barry, I am so sorry. I was literally sitting here trying to set my computer up whenever you called, and I owe you a phone call. And I am so sorry, buddy. I missed it out there. So, but again, so big jobs are very relative. I saw Tommy sat there and said, hey, $300 to a new guy might be considered a big job. Right. I referred something out this week to the company that I estimated between $200,000 to $300,000, and another washer actually called me about that. And we started talking about it. And he said, I just don't know if, and it is. I mean, the big jobs, we've talked about this before extensively over in Pro, but the big jobs can be an absolute schedule killer too,
Yeah, absolutely.
And whenever I was like $200,000 to $300,000, and we started talking, this could be a month to a 2-month project, and you're going to have 6 guys out here because you need to establish a safety perimeter and all that good stuff. And
then you got to think about weather. You got to think about people coming through, all the different delays you can run into.
It was a resort type property that never shut down either.
Right.
And the last thing that these vacationers are going to be thinking about is, there's a soft washing company, pressure washing, horrible access. I mean, just all the negatives you could imagine on there. But, I love seeing this. Rich and Maria. Yeah. So that's hey, big job, Yes, I would say that's a big job,
I would say that's a big job.
And I love Rocket City. I love this attitude right here. Predominantly residential, teaming up with another local company to submit a bid in excess of $40,000. Hallelujah. Right there.
Yes.
This is something, especially if you're the smaller guy, especially if you're the owner operator or one truck. This is why networking is so important, so important. Get out there and split a job with somebody. Talk to them. I mean, make friends with quality people in your area. And I mean, that's massive, massive, massive.
Yeah. Find out what they want from you work out a deal, if you would, that's fair for both of you. Like, let's say it's on a concrete job and, it's 80,000 square foot and, come up with a price that is fair for you and for them, saying, all right, if you call me on an 80,000 square foot job, I've got 2 8 GPM machines. You've got a 4 GPM machine. This is how that split should go.
Right.
And then that way that person can go out and if he bids on that job, he knows what your cost to him is going to be. And he knows what his cost to you is going to be, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And another thing, oh man, just coming back Kenny Ross is saying he's had 3 big jobs and since we last spoke, and also Rocket City. Good.
You missed it.
Yeah. At Rocket City had missed most of the season with cancer surgery. Hope that
that's all going well.
God bless you. I found out my neighbor passed away last night. My next door neighbor.
Oh, gee whiz.
Yeah. Awful. And it wasn't COVID though. So, but he was one of the, he wound up anyway, just never mind. Yeah, absolutely. Bobby Gwynn's talking about 7,000 worth of sidewalks. I wonder is that Bobby, is that Thomasville? I know we had talked about that job before up there, but Doug, you just hit on something that said, hold on. I gotta post this contact from Flip. So lost a few bucks this season, taking a couple of big jobs that took us too damn long to complete. Definitely looking to team up with a contractor in 2022. Amen. I mean, and this is something that everybody needs to understand. A lot of the time, we say, gosh, if I could get this job, it would just save my life.
It would make it so great, man. I'd make so much money. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, if I could just get this $20,000 HOA, this is what I'm going to do. Well, the $20,000 HOA is going to take you 2 weeks as well, too. Well, hell, that's $10,000 a week. Okay, that's great. You're right. But I'm running $25,000, $30,000 a week, and I'm having to take all my resources here to go over here
to one job
away. You can have schedule killers that unless you've got people, and if you've got steady residential, we run into this just in our regular spring season. Like, yes, we're 6 weeks out. We'll put you down 2 months from now. People don't like to hear that, So, and I know that there's some guys out there going, oh, if you're more than 2 weeks booked out, you should hire another crew. I'm not going to screw with anybody's life like that, because I know the spring rush will not last. Flip saying, not all, no, I think we hit it at the same time. Not all big jobs are good jobs. Trust me. Absolutely. They still have to be profitable. And the displacement of business, I mean, it's a term that it's a real live term. I don't know, but if you displace enough business, it can hurt you a lot more than you realize, because you can piss off, some regular. I was a prime example of this year. I can't tell you how much I have been on the truck this year because of these large jobs, and we're contractually bound to some of them, and I'm contractually bound to do them, but with my the people that purchase my company, who I'm under contract with, I got to get crap done. But you can guess who's the guy whenever your crews have worked already 12 hours a day and they're exhausted. Guess who gets to do second and third shift?
This is actually something that I need to think about a little bit more when talking to some of you guys, because a lot of times we talk about these larger jobs, and guys will say to me, especially if we're talking pricing, which I don't give prices, that kind of a thing, but in trying to figure out pricing, well, I thought I was here, or I thought I should be there, or, it's such a big job that I'm giving them this discount for this and this discount for that, because it's so much square footage, or it's so much roof area, or it's so much this, or it's so much that. And I agree with giving a discount, but the one thing that you have to keep in mind is that when you're looking at that, you still need to look at the length of time on the job, because the same thing as what Ray is saying right now. You get that big job and you're like, man, this is great. It's 20 grand, and man, it's going to take me 20 days, and blah, 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 blah. And it's $1,000 a day, and blah, blah, blah. But you're actually losing money if you do that. You're losing money for several different reasons. Number one, you can't get to all the other jobs. But right. Number two, how much is your truck normally billing out per day? Right. If your truck is normally billing out per day, and it's a 10-day job, and you're losing $200 a day, you're losing an extra.
You're losing money, now. Yeah,
you got to think about these things. You got to play with your budgets that way when you're starting to think about these big jobs, and you're starting to think about the discounts and all that. That's where, when you grow and you have more crews and your proficiency goes up, that's when tackling those bigger jobs. So you may not make as much on your first couple of large jobs until you get up to where you're proficient with more crews and better equipment, to where now you're really making money.
And so, another part of that, Doug, is this. You mentioned, you can always talk to these people about, you can give them two prices as well too, because I've had lots of these larger jobs going, okay, it's going to be $20,000 if you have to have this done in March and April, our high season. But if I get in here in August or September, I can give you, because, and this is why, again, we always preach about record keeping, know when your high months are, know when your low months are, know when all of these things happen, because we always check that out. We know that February and August are traditionally our 2 slowest months.
Mm-hmm.
Then September is tied for August. And August, September, there's 2 things that happen there, at least for us, because everybody's this is a little bit different. But August, September, and I believe that February is slow because people finally run out of money for the holidays.
And January, February, always the worst for us.
January is always pretty good for us because I think we had a lot of new budgets opening up on the calendar year. But the February, the residential dies off. It's when we finally get cold up here in Tallahassee as well. But then the August, a lot of folks are on vacation in August. And sometimes that stretches over, depending on when the school year starts, it stretches over into September as well. We were insane. We had a 6-figure August, well into the 6 figures in August. Our September, okay, it's starting to, residentially speaking, it's starting to go down some. I want to go back to, I want to hit this comment too. I want to see flips, but Rich said, may have to wait 30 or 60 for the payment to come in too.
This is true.
Absolutely.
If not more.
Yeah. The bigger the organization, guys, understand the longer it's probably going to take you to get paid, just as a generality.
And while we're on that though, sometimes when you run into these really big corporate types, one of the things that they do is they'll say, okay, we're a 45-day pay unless you give us a 15% discount. Right. Then we'll pay within 10 days or something like that. You can do either way. What I do in a case like that is if we've got one that it was 15. And so what I did was I upped my price 20%. And I still did the 45 days. Monies didn't care. So I actually made more because of their verbiage. They wanted to cut 15. I added 20. Boom.
Yeah. And that's 100% on there. I mean, that's, and yeah.
I like this goes along with what we were saying. Dave was saying during our peak season, we'll be moving larger jobs either to early March or October. And this is if you have the relationship and you can do that. That's a key point. Next month, we got 2 large commercial jobs scheduled. I've already spoken with the property managers about scheduling these large jobs. Everyone is in agreement, especially if you build relationships with them and you get to a point, especially if they say, pricing wise or they don't care when it gets done. So long as it gets done, you move them into your slower months. That way you're always busy.
I don't know. It just says Facebook user. We don't know who that is. You haven't registered with StreamYard, but you're right. If you want to play the big boys, you better be ready to play with them. Have enough capital to carry yourself.
Absolutely.
So true. Rusty, this is a big business term right here. Yield management, 100%,
if you keep going back to especially these large companies and saying, hey, I really need the money. One of 2 things typically happens. Okay. They get tired of you. And so they quit using you, or they realize you need the work. You need them way, way more than they need you. And so then they're going to use you more, but they're going to want better pricing and they're going to keep beating you up on the pricing until, you're just not profitable and you don't realize it. And
Kenneth, I don't know if, you're a pro, and I apologize. I don't know if you're a pro member or not, but pro members are always welcome to sit here and Doug and I probably answer it 3, 4, 8 times a week, depending on the week. We help people put together bids. It's a benefit of being with, Spray Wash Pro.
Help you see what it is that you need, how it is that you need, why it is that you need. Those kinds of things, just helping you get that.
We're not going to tell you exactly what you should price it at, but we're going to give you stuff to think about on there. So, Bobby just said sometimes winning bigger jobs equals losing money on the residential side. This is a great point.
Absolutely.
Larger jobs usually go out to bid, not a guarantee you'll get it next time. Most of my residential call me back year after year. I just had a church that I've done, that big church steeple, Bradfordville Baptist Church. I realized it had been done, and I've given them great service. I've washed that steeple at least 3 times. I've washed the building several times. I've been there and I've done lots of stuff for them. Somebody else beat me. We went up 10% on our bid this past time. We lost it, also, I don't have time to follow up on bids anymore. So if you're in the Tallahassee market, feel free to bid against me on anything because I ain't got time to do the crap. But yeah, we didn't. I just drove by. I was like, shit, I gave a bid on that last, a month and a half ago. And I was really surprised because usually he would call me and say, Ray, I'm really, we like using you and, doing that. But I don't know, it could, again, churches, he's not necessarily, he's a guy that gets the bids. There could be a new committee that's in the church. There could be a new group of people that, we're actually picking and choosing. You never know. But Bobby has a really, really, really good point there that, you're not always guaranteed these big things. Yeah. Oh, so that was Scott who said that you better have the capital to do it. Yeah.
Scott who?
Scott, I don't know, some guy.
Some
electrician.
Some loser.
Yeah. He has no idea. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Scott, being how you weren't here in the beginning, just don't let me forget to tell you about Golden Meadow. Don't even go, don't go the speed limit. Go 3 miles under the speed limit. Golden Meadow will write you a ticket. If you hit just an eighth over the speed limit, they will write your guys tickets. Make sure they know that.
And Scott's got what, like 30 trucks there? That'd be a lot of tickets.
That'd be a lot of tickets. Yeah. Michael, getting the house back in order. It's really not the house. It's more the yard and the stuff out in the yard and all that. So yeah, I'm doing a lot better than a lot of people as well. But got a question for you guys. I have a new employee and he's an all-star. Love that, all caps, meaning you're really liking the guy. My question is, can I teach too fast or should I push him? I think for me that's gonna depend on him. If he's an all-star and he's absorbing it and he's listening to it and he's following through with what you're teaching him and push him. You never know. He could be the guy running your company in a year from now, allowing you to do other things. So I say push him. If he's getting to the point where and he's making mistakes and he's not catching, I was supposed to do this. Oh, I forgot to do that. That's when you start backing off a little bit. It takes a little bit of time to get to an understanding of where he's at. But if he's asking too many questions or the same questions over and over again, you're probably going too fast. If he's absorbing it like a sponge, he's telling you how to do it, he's showing you how to do it, man, keep pushing.
Yeah. I mean, you can ride a good horse to death.
Yes, absolutely.
You can, and it'll happen. So you can ride it. So be careful about that. Flip has a long one here. So property managers pay in 30 days, and one of our larger jobs pays us monthly. We sign a multi-year contract to one community to pay us 50% in January of each year. So allow us to get our crew and equipment together before we start in March. I focus on building honest relationships with our property managers and board presidents. Absolutely. Helped us all the way around, schedules, payments, mistakes. One of the things that really, I would say, put me on the board, that took my company from, and then made it, nowadays I realize that, I'm this, but guess what? There's a lot of guys that are like that too. Guys that, tell you what, the really big badass guys aren't sitting there on Facebook bickering about, the Udor is better than the Comet and blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, anyway,
they're out there kicking it.
I couldn't give one rat's ass about it. But, but whenever we got our hospital account and thank God for that hospital, but we started getting a substantial, and it's back in the day, it was like $3,000 a month. But that was so much money to us. And it made us realize that I'm going to get this $3,000 a month as long as I keep my nose clean, keep doing this work and keep, this check shows up on the 5th of every month. And this is amazing. And then that check went from 3 to, and then they added on services to like 7. Then all of a sudden, and then it went
12.
And then it became a 5-figure check. And that's in addition to all the additional stuff that we do for them. And it becomes huge on there.
One of the stories that I love the most in this industry was a church job that I went to do. They called me up for the bid. And when I met with the lady, she was very standoffish. And the reason she was standoffish is why? Because I'm a contractor. What do contractors do? They lie, cheat, and steal. That's what a contractor is. Okay. A contractor is a liar, a thief. That's the perception of a lot of contractors. And so, I had to work my way with her. And I even talked to her about something where she said, I am not signing a contract with you. And I'm like, I'm not asking you to sign a contract, and I'll never ask you to sign a contract, because if you're not, a contract to me doesn't do me any real good if you're not happy with my level of service. And so to this day, she's like a sister to me, if you would. And she helped me find employees, and she all kinds of stuff. And she was ready to sign a $2,000 a month contract with me, where we would just swing by every now and then, take care of some stuff. And it's like, no, we'll just come by. We'll do it. It's about building those relationships.
I love that analogy.
Oh,
a contract is, no, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
Was that Brooke that walked in?
No, that's Tanya. So
I didn't see. I'm sorry.
Tanya just got in from yoga and is a sweaty mess, and she's like, "Do not put me on camera." So I'm broadcasting from the family room tonight. So.
And the bull looks like it's got a bullet hole in the head. Yeah, I'm actually coming from so my daughter moved back in. Happy to have her here. And so she's got a lot of her stuff in here. And I need to set up a permanent studio, but haven't been able to do that. I'm too busy and all that. So.
Oh, I know. I mean, hell, I've got the one. I literally have an office next door, to we've got the studio next door to, you and I made videos there. And it's like my life is so insane at this point. It's like, I'm running. It's like, crap, I don't have time to get to the office, to the studio to do this. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So.
Yeah, I know we've got 3 classes that we're working on and have been working on, and really haven't made any headway with them at all.
To do it. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. This must be Scott.
What cabinet? I have no idea what you're talking about. All those were lost.
That must be Scott again. You didn't say you were happy on the phone. Oops, did I say that? I'm assuming that was to me and not to you, but that's got to be Scotty.
Got to be. There's my big gigantic clock.
There you go.
My Burke. Established 2021 or 2001.
Yep, that's when Tanya clocked you.
Yeah. You have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. So actually, if I have the camera this way, whenever Tanya comes in, this is one of Tanya's rooms that she's redone. So she's redone everything. We've literally been completely remodeling the house here. So, all right. So somebody just said they had a Florida question. Oh, Kenneth, you got a Florida question. I want to hear it. What?
Yeah. Fire away. Going back to the very beginning until that pops up, a big job really is defined by you, the individual, not anybody else in this industry, in this business. Burke pays her a lot of money to put up with him. Signed, Scott. Yeah. All right. So Ken asked the question. He says, "Is there a typical type of that you go through with the most of these people when you are a contractor?" I literally had a treasurer a treasurer had told me she was the treasurer today, but it was her husband. Then I had the president sent me to the wrong email 4 times. Those seem to be people that ghosted me today. I'm not sure.
You know what? I would run and run away fast. The old Monty Python, run away. Whenever you're dealing with an HOA that's managed like that,
they're going to be a nightmare.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, and a lot of things, we talk about, dealing with property managers. So Florida, and you're in Florida, so you can be able to find this. Going to again, something we talk about in pro. We'll give the information here too, but you can go to Florida Sunbiz and find out all the HOAs because they have a kind of a special classification there. But then you can also find HOAs that are run by professional managers. I do not typically contract with HOAs that are self-managed because of what you're just saying right there.
Yeah, they can be a super pain.
They really can because they think they're a pain.
And they've got a lot of infighting. Where all kinds of stuff.
Power trip and why don't and then Ethel, who's lived in the neighborhood for 20 years, and why don't you hire my grandson because he has a pressure washer and he's such a nice boy. And that meth conviction that he had was just complete. He was set up for that.
The cops planted it on him.
Yeah.
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 That's what I see with a lot of times with HOAs. I mean, when they're not properly managed, when they are the president, the board, they're directing their own thing, they'll make a decision and then half the people will complain. Well, I want this. Well, I want that. And they don't know what to do. And, they're friends with that person outside of, the board. And so they got to try. It can be a nightmare. So really, for me, if they are a professionally managed HOA, that is absolutely the best because they don't really have to deal with that. They've got a set of rules and guidelines that they follow. And that's pretty much it for them. They don't have to deal with that.
You can literally have, you can have still a HOA with a president, a vice president, a treasurer, blah, blah, blah. And then they can choose to hire TPAM, Tallahassee Professional Association Management, is one of them that we work with. NAI Talcor is another. They have a division on there. TLG, Tallahassee Land. I mean, all these people have their association management firms, which, by the way, are also registered with the Secretary of State. Just saying, they're tossing that out there. In fact, that's something we need to put in the
other way.
HOA class. But yeah, you can so deal with those people typically instead of dealing with the HOAs that are just self-governed, because the self-governed ones are such a pain in the butt.
Every now and then you get one that's really well and all that, but I think it's few. I think there's more that aren't than I'd
say it's the exception more than the rule. God, when did I get so gray?
You've been there a while.
Go to Sunbiz and search. Just go to Sunbiz and look. I mean, you'll find something, and then also use the Google machine in your area. Search for association management.
Yeah,
and then association management Tampa.
I don't mean to keep yawning. I'm tired.
Yeah, Cam. There you go. Certified. Rusty, thank you. That's another search term right there. Cam, Certified Association Manager. Thank you, Rusty. Awesome. I know we kept you around for a reason.
All right. Let's see.
Wild West, you've been great since you were 19 too.
Yeah. My brother was gray when he was, I think he peppered up at, 19, 20, but I think he was gray. I mean, late 20s, I think he was gray.
When did I get so bald? So hold on, here's one. We've had 3 that are self-governed, and 1 this year had an issue with getting information forwarded, but so far so good. Good. And I don't mean to sit there and say it's all bad. Don't get me wrong. I'll tell you what, we actually had Tanya almost came unglued this year. One of the ones that we did and they require us to do it in March. We've been doing this, and it's another $20,000 HOA. We knock it out in a week and a half or so. You kind of blew that kiss towards me, and I'm a little offended.
Did you see it? You didn't see that.
I saw you blow your kiss towards me. So
Oh, I did turn that way, didn't I? That
Yes,
was
you did. You did. Yeah.
that was my wife, but yeah.
Well, I
Hey,
kind
buddy.
of figured. Yeah.
Well, we're supposed to be going to the movies here in about 20 minutes. So
Anyway, the whole gig with and we had one that was professionally managed by a Tanya. You want to come in and talk about this one? Talking about the our friends, the lady that held up our payment. HOA. We had an HOA earlier this year that was managed professionally, but the president of the HOA kept on complaining about touch-ups and issues.
I remember that one.
That's the first time I haven't made them pay 50% up
Yeah,
front.
and she hadn't made them pay 50% up front. So even though you go with a professional association manager, you can run into these problems. And honestly, this was a power trip with this young lady that was holding us up. And everybody's saying, "Hey, Tanya."
Ray, you were talking about losing a bid. Well, in my case, I keep picking up my local competitors' past customers. Not sure what's going on. My rates are high and we just picking up new people, and I don't go after the comp's customers. I leave them alone because I expect them to leave me alone as well.
Stop. Get. Okay. First off, you never have ownership. If somebody's customer is calling you,
they're not their customer anymore.
They're not their customer.
They lost them.
Not ever. I'm sorry. I'm going to actually get chiding here at this point. Do not ever have that mindset in business. Because if they're calling you, go after this. Nobody's going to sit there and say, "Gosh, that's Michael Shane Lowe's customer. I'm not going to." I mean, I understand you're being nice, but nobody's going to say, "Oh gosh, that's his customer." I'm not going to go out there and go after them. No, business is business.
I won't if I won't go. I mean, if you tell me about a customer or a client or whatever, I'm not going to go necessarily purposefully knocking on their door to take you down. But once they dial my number, they're my customer. Okay.
Or you're a potential customer.
But I look at it as in they're my customer. They're calling my company. My job in business. I mean, those of you that know me know I'm friendly. I try to help. I will help virtually everybody. But when that customer calls me, it is my job to beat you into the ground and take that customer as my customer. That's it. Okay. Because this is business. I'm not cutthroat or anything to that nature, but I'm going to let the light shine. And now the only difference on that is I have had calls and people have asked, well, what do you think about that company spray wash? We were getting ready to use them. I saw something and, I just wasn't sure whether or not they were a good company, whatever. That's not my customer. I'm not trying to steal it. They've called to ask me about you. I'm going to answer them honestly. I mean, I'm going to try not to get into any negative stuff, but if I think it's a good company, I'll be like, yeah, I think they're a great company. I mean, I think we're better, but no, that's a good company, that kind of a thing. So
I'm going to spin around since Tanya's done with her comings and goings here.
Comings and goings.
More comfortable. I can prop my leg up on the line.
Yeah.
You look amazing to me, baby. So, but again, Michael, don't ever be afraid. This is competition. I listen. I promise you that nobody's going, "Oh, that's Michael Shane Lowe's customer. I'm not going to bid that on here. I'm going to." I mean, how many times have you gotten calls from your competition going, "Hey, I work with so and don't think about that. Business is business."
Well, that's going to be Scott, and Scott, I'll take all your business. I purposely stay away from Scott's clients because I would run him into the ground. He'd be broke. He'd be asking me for a toilet cleaning job, so I'd leave him alone.
You know what? Here's a good one right here. Jim Bob Durda is saying, this. Don't sit there. I only want to call him back. That's one of the problems that we have as business professionals. Sometimes, and I'll tell you what, I even mentioned that church a minute ago. I said, "Hey, wait a minute. I lost." I rode by that church and realized, I don't have time to follow up. And sometimes we get a little full of ourselves. Oh, that's my customer. That's my customer. That's this, that's that, you know? I mean, we could do a whole episode on losing business from not following up. We
Absolutely.
don't follow up on people because let's face it, life
We're busy.
happens.
Mhm.
Um,
I want to answer this one real quick. I got nieces and nephews in town, and so they want to go see movies. So, you know, they got Netflix and they got YouTube and they got Hulu and they got Hula Hoops, and I don't know about all that stuff. I just know
I got to answer this one. See, Bobby, because Bobby's my competition, you know, here in Tallahassee. He's actually up in a little north of me, but I'm one of those guys that I'll be like, you know, so who's bidding on this property? Oh, you know, we got a bid from Bobby, and I'll say, oh my God, is he out of prison?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
I didn't realize that. That's awesome.
Guys cannot overcome a heroin addiction like that, you know, and child pornography charges. I am so happy that, you know, he beat that rap, you know,
especially since the last time he was only out for like 3 months, and I really thought, you know, but
no,
yeah.
And no, Bobby is right. Don't talk down another company. I'll tell you what. You want to lose a customer or you want to lose a good customer and you want to gain a crappy customer. Start talking smack, just pure unadulterated smack about your competition. Because I'll tell you what, you'll get bad customers and you'll lose good customers on it. You know, I mean, there's ways of talking about people and there's ways to not talk about people.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, I'm not familiar with their process, but here's what we do. Was this where your collateral material? This is where you should shine. This is where you should know your Asphalt Roofing Manufacturers Association guidelines. This is where you should know your plant and property. You should be able to rattle off that, you know, 1 inch of rain, you know, delivers 24,000 gallons per acre. This is the kind of stuff. And understand, the good companies, this is what you're competing with. I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk on this, but this is where the really good companies, you're competing with guys who Doug and I may have taught them. I'm not saying we taught everybody in this industry, but you're you're competing against guys who know their stuff whenever it comes to this. You know, we can talk about, you know, well, goodness gracious, you've got Nandina. I've got Nandina in front of this property. I've got boxwoods. Doug, what happens with boxwoods, you know?
Yeah. Fry them out.
Are we going to talk about plant and property protection with our customer when they've got a boxwood hedgerow?
Absolutely. Yeah,
we are, you know?
Let's see. All right. Learned.
Oh, I love that comment. Bobby, I learned to trade while behind bars. Yeah. And Bobby's such an awesome guy. Bobby's one of the guys that's on my referral list. You know, like, hey, I can't handle a job, call Bobby.
Yeah,
especially up in Georgia.
And you should build a referral list. You really should do that.
100%.
People that
we just talked about a minute ago, or not, well, 40 minutes ago, we talked about, you know, splitting a job with someone, you know, somebody else in the thing. Have a referral list in your.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I dare say I probably refer out more business than a lot of pressure washing companies make in a year. And I don't mean that in an arrogance kind of way whatsoever. I even had a guy come up to me at the Huge and said, Ray, you've been a little light on your referrals lately. And you realize you're better to me than Google. I've tracked everything.
Then the Google machine is.
You are my number one source of business. And I'm thinking,
wow,
cool to hear that, you know, but oh, stop. Yeah, actually, you hush, Bobby. You're not competition. I'm just being nice to you. No, seriously, Bobby, I think you're an amazing guy and you're a good guy, you know, absolutely.
And that's
David Rivas in the house.
In the house now. Very good.
You got you a fella LA guy there.
There you go.
Here's a long one from a Facebook. We got an irate email about being driven off the road by it must be Scott. Yeah. Saturday, we didn't work Saturdays. I asked the guy to describe the truck. Oh, no, it wasn't him.
and it was a car, and all he remembered was soft wash and the name, and immediately emailed us.
Nice.
I know my SEO is good.
Yes.
I
love it.
Not that same thing, but along those same lines. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times we would get phone calls, and one of the things that we do is we always ask, "How did you hear about us?" And so I would hear from your radio commercials. Awesome. Really, I'm glad that they're working for us. I would hear from your TV commercials. Oh, awesome. Love that they're working for us. We got one of your flyers in our mailbox. Great. Love that that's working for you. Got one of your door hangers. Oh, great. Love that that's working for you. When we don't do any of that type of advertising.
I mean, we're the same way. I mean, we don't advertise other than Google and the occasional door hangers and the 20 around, not a 5 around, a 20 around.
20 around.
Yeah, no, 100%. Doug, I'm with you. I mean, and part of it is, people say, I see you everywhere. Well, whenever you have a fleet of wrap trucks out there, whenever here's one of the ironies that I see with a lot of these guys, who are building little rigs, and, there's a ton of people out there, and keep in mind, I mean, I think I was actually having a call the other day with someone, and we were talking about the proportioner because we're going through, or Tim is dealing with some
issues.
We just had another patent defense on there. Okay, guys that are building big proportioners, keep your eyes out. I'm just going to say that. Sorry, kind of happy about that. But, I was talking, and Paul and I were talking the other day. It's like, AC, really the first person that ever mass produced truck skid units was AC. Paul then kicked it up to literally the next level, because AC had his Gen 1 soft wash systems, and you had to be part of the soft wash system gig. Doug, you're frozen. Doug, you're frozen. Damn you, Doug. All right, I'm going to remove Doug. Doug will hopefully jump back in here in 1 second. But I was talking to Paul about this. And it's like, AC Lockyer was one of the first guy that really, we know of that offered the truck back systems. Then Paul started offering the truck back systems as well. And that became huge. Then the proportioner came into effect, and it made the truck back, the skid system just blow up, because now we no longer have a mixed tank, right? So we can fit everything we need into the back of a 6-foot bed on a pickup truck. But it made just insanity happen and we were able to start marketing. We were able to start, hold on. Send me a link and I'll try to catch on my phone. So you guys, hold on. I got to figure out. Okay, I got to copy this, copy to clipboard, Messenger. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to do this. This is what happens with technology. You do message, paste. Okay, I am trying to send this. I apologize for the delay. All right, I've sent that with Doug. He should hopefully be able to join us again in 1 second. So, anyhow. But again, so yeah, that was one of the things the proportioner actually revolutionized the industry, was the truck back skid. So we can actually take this thing and put it in the back of the truck. It blows my mind how many people miss out on the advertising potential and they're driving around with trailers and trucks that aren't logoed. I see so many trucks. Amen. And I've got so many comments here. I haven't necessarily got them. All right, David, get back to work. But there's so many guys, we forget that the rigs that we drive are one of our absolute best sources of advertisement right there. Why wouldn't you sit there and use some signage potential on there? I just picked up a trailer. Let me give you an idea. The company that I work for now, who purchased my business, picked up a trailer from them a month ago. It's literally, and trust me, they're pretty smart at marketing. It's got a 6 foot by 3 foot or 2 foot by 6 foot area for signage on that trailer. Put signage on your trailers, guys. I mean, if you're not a truck back, still put the signage on there. I'm going back through comments. Agree with Doug. Every customer who calls where they got my name, let me know what's working and what's not. 100%. See where your money is going. See where your money is going. I mean, it's so important. That should be. David saying, yep, right. Brand out, info. Yeah, get your freaking logo out there. Get your brand out there. Are you a pressure washing guy, or are you a secret agent? People see your rig rolling down the road. Do they know who to call? There's a guy in Tallahassee, and he has a nice, very nice rig. And it's something like MGT or something. It says on the side of his rig, like vinyl cutout letters, MGT. No phone number, no website, no nothing. I assume he does just a couple of little places, a side gig for him. No way to contact him. No idea. No web presence. No nothing. Well, there you go, Bobby. Take it personal, buddy. Yeah. But there. Okay, Jay, thank you very much. Right there. How much do you pay for 5,000 views on Facebook or Google or YouTube? All of us are going to pay. And if you think about 5,000 views in one day for a wrapped truck, a wrapped rig, signage on your rig, we would pay for 5,000 views on Google, YouTube, Facebook. We pay a couple $100 a day for that, right? Think about that. Think about it. Why wouldn't you pay the same, literally for less than that, for $1,500? That's what I used to pay for my partial wraps. For $1,500 on a partial wrap. And make that up in like a week, 2 weeks. Why would you not do it? Oh, there it is. Here we go. I'm adding Doug in. There's Doug's live.
Yeah, and now I'm in the truck. It actually ended up being good timing anyhow, because I'm supposed to be meeting the family for the movie. But all of a sudden, just everything went out, and I heard a boom. So apparently, we blew a transformer, and I guess it should only be expected with the there's so much going on around here electrically, if you would. So anyhow, I'm back.
God is working on your electric, right?
Yeah. That's probably no. Scott worked on it. That's why it went bad. That's what it is. Scott, I am serious. If you're listening, buddy, do not speed through Golden Meadow. I'm telling you, don't do it. Make sure your guys throw something at them to say if you get a ticket, you're losing your job or something, because they're gonna get a ticket.
Yeah, and Bobby, feel free to call me out. You're a pro member. I'm more than happy to give you that info. I'll hook you up with my local guy. Look at that, Rivas. Paid it off. Rhino paid off my wrap in 2 weeks. 22.
Awesome. I'm going to tell you what, when I wrap my big truck, especially, man, that thing, the very first day I had it out, I was going past a gas station, turning. The reason I bring up the gas station is because guy calls me up. Yeah, I just saw one of your trucks driving past, and it's at this gas station, which knew exactly. That's what dialed it in for me. We ended up landing our first job from that one wrap that ended up paying for the wrap.
Yeah. All right, so it is actually 8 o'clock. There is we usually stop in deference to Jason Guyman, who moved this stuff to 9. So, but there is a world premiere tonight for the pressure washing punks.
Oh no!
Out there making the fun of people about 8 o'clock tonight. So I am going to go out there. Hold on, there's some more comments coming in. So we're about to wrap up here. David's saying, "Oh, David's agreeing with you. Do not speed there, especially now with everything going on."
There you go. They're going to rake in the dough with you.
We are doing a large wood restoration, and a neighbor let us use his yard to park the lift to work, and he has been great. So today I gave him $100. Told him to take his wife out to dinner.
Awesome.
Perfect. You know what? That's winning friends and influencing people right there.
That's building relationships, and that's work. That's building your business for tomorrow and not for today.
Absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you all so much. We appreciate you. I got to go over here and look at this pressure washing punks thing, seeing who they're making fun of tonight. Gotta go. I gotta watch it. It's morbid curiosity.
That's on YouTube, and it's the world premiere. I don't get it what he's doing there, but okay.
Well, have you seen the pressure washing punks video? Have I sent you one of those where they're making fun of the people that
right.
A lot of guys that we make, well, I don't say we make fun of, that we rail against the people. I do $1 million a year. Bullshit. That kind of stuff, and the ones, if you buy my success package, you'll be automatically successful. I mean, you've got the one guy who goes out and carries like platinum records out, the guys that are doing $100,000 a year, which I don't mean to be anything disrespectful about $100,000 a year, but let's face it, you're not running a real successful business at $100,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't disrespect you for working your butt off, but if this is your business, your goal should not be $100,000 a year.
Absolutely right.
Your goal should be $250,000 a year.
If you're doing this part-time, I mean, weekends and, whatever, because you have a main business, then, 100,000. I mean, that's what I would say. That then having that 100,000.
Absolutely. Oh, and we lost Doug again. All right, guys, rock on. Love you guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. We love y'all to hear on our Thursday podcast. Thank y'all.